This is your fucking moment. You only get one moment in life. It's not hiding in some cubicle answering some fucking phone. Can you handle it?
Yeah, I can handle the moment.
An artist is the slipperiest, most conniving motherfucker on the face of the earth. That's why you have to watch your tushy, while at the same time you make them feel like a star. It's called mind fucking. You ever been mind fucked before?
Super Flag Bros. Super Flag
See, that's it. That's the art of it. I'm mind fucking the shit out of you.
Division 6 Podcast.
Welcome everyone, I am Peeze, Della, Reeze. This is David Della, Rocca.
These Della, Reeze.
As D's Della, Reeze. We are brothers, this is Super Flag Brothers. We're joined in studio by GM Calethris, fully committed to his McDonald's only diet. You can tweet him about that wonderful diet at GMCole44. You'll see him on later with me. If you stay tuned for my other show, which is called In the Audible, right after this. But for now, we are the Super Flag Bros. You can follow me at PeaceFPF. You can follow you at
Dave's Republic. And also, the hashtag is, for the day is, hashtag NugGut.
Nugget. So, and of course, we're joined in studio by the Eagle at Master Control. He's still employed despite having done a terrible job last week.
Terrible.
So, congrats, Eagle. You're still employed. If you have questions about his level of employment, you can tweet him at EagleFPF. We had an interesting week in Division 6, D's. I have to say, the gaps are starting to widen in Division 6. And it's not necessarily just experienced teams, but you're seeing very strong teams and some weaker teams. So, like, we've seen a lot of blowouts.
No. We've seen only blowouts.
Not only, but
only
a large proportion of blowouts, yes.
Large amount of blowouts, yes.
And do you think that this is going to continue throughout the season? Or, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I've covered,
so
I've
teams
covered
won't get better.
No. I've covered this division in the past, and this trend continues. There's just blowout after blowout, week after week. But it's okay. I mean, that's kind of how it goes, right? Survival of the fittest.
Absolutely. That's one way to look at it.
Hashtag survival of the fittest.
To be honest, though, we've covered it the last show. Is that's really how you learn in this league? Is you sort of get your ass kicked.
Oh yeah. But it still happens to us in higher leagues.
Sorry, the beatings make you wiser.
But it happens
to quote my mom, the beatings make you wiser. So, of course, if you're watching us live, you know that we are at www.theunclemikeshow.com and our new home, the Coast to Coast Studios. Much like this is the FPF.
We've been adopted.
Sorry?
We've been adopted.
We have been adopted, thank God. We were on a doorstep for a little while in a basket. Eagle is the only one in the room that can actually fit into a basket. Do you know when the Uncle Mike show is on? I know it was delayed last week.
It's at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock tonight. Of course, you can catch the Uncle Mike himself on the Uncle Mike show. And for those of you who are not listening and can't hear, remember you can download on iTunes. It's bizarre because they won't know it. There's no way for them to find out because
absolutely.
But it's okay. Read the article and you find out. So let's recap some of the games this week, D's. We had Mean Machine beating up on Orange Crush. So we have a new team coming in and just annihilating another. They win it 50-24.
Right.
You've heard from Orange Crush that there might be a possible quarterback change.
Well, it's just more of a quarterback rotation. I mean, they're in a situation where their quarterback is going to be in and out, and they have a guy coming in. But what I think at the moment, the problem with that specific game where OC's playing, they're playing Mean Machine. Mean Machine is a new team. However, they're a pretty athletic team. They're you know what it is? Mean Machine's basically a team full of short guys that are so quick and so fast, and that's the kind of thing that can really rattle the team. It's all about speed, right? Like, this isn't tackle football. It's not all about the size. Sometimes it's all about the quickness and speed.
Usually it isn't about the size.
In football?
No, in flag football.
Oh, in flag football, yeah. So, but the thing is, in this situation, it's a team that, you know, they came in with a questionable quarterback situation. You know, 4 interceptions in the game will always put you in a difficult spot. As you know yourself,
as I know myself, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well.
No, but it's just that it's hard to get back into the game when there's 4 interceptions.
Absolutely.
But on the defensive end, you know, it's really.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're reminding us of the McDonald's only diet once again.
You know, on a defensive end, I think it's tough also for for a team to defend when you have 4 interceptions in a game and you have to defend against that.
Yeah.
But until they figure out that quarterback situation, they're really going to be in a situation it's going to repeat.
Yeah, and they came into the season with Nick Gagne as quarterback. They do have 2 guys capable of throwing. They have Chris Manna, who came in last game, Chris Stevens, who missed this week, and I believe
he's going to start this week. He's going to start.
He's starting this week.
Yeah,
okay.
he's starting this week.
So one of the Chris's will be starting.
Yeah,
we think
but,
it's Chris
but
Stevens.
I think with Stevens at quarterback, I think they have a better chance to succeed because I don't think they're a bad team. I I just think they have to get more aggressive on defense, and they just need to put up some more points.
He's also a great pitcher.
You also a good pitcher. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I believe I'm not sure now because as I'm reading my notes, I might have confused 2 teams.
Tell me.
But let's just say it's Orange Crush because it might have been also Smoking Axolotls, which we'll talk about later.
Okay.
And I still can't pronounce the name, but let's imagine it's one of these 2 teams. Messaged me today. He's like, "Guy, I tried the 4-1. We got smoked."
Yeah.
They didn't get the concept of lock into corners, so
Yeah.
basically flies were open all day.
I know.
And I was just like, oh yeah. So basically,
you really need to lock the corners on the 4-1.
People lost this week, and it's all your fault.
Ah,
So,
is it really my fault, or is it their fault for listening to a podcast?
well, no, podcasts are awesome. We
They
have
are pretty
lots
awesome.
of
They're
helpful
awesome.
information. Not necessarily if you don't. Really
Don't listen to me
understand
though.
it. How about for Mean Machine? Are they the best offense in Division 6? I know they put the most points. Are they the best offense?
I don't think they're the best offense. I just think they're the quickest offense, and I think that having a quick offense in a division like in D6 can give you so many advantages. Having a team that's very shifty, a team that's small, hard to tackle, you get a lot of yak on that, man. I mean, it's hard enough to tackle a guy in FPF because you're pulling at these strings. But imagine those on someone who's generally shorter than your like eagle sized.
Yes. And speaking of high in trouble tackling, Obamacare could not have been stopped at all by Smoking Axles. They win it 27-7.
Right.
Who's Andrew Hopkins?
Andrew Hopkins is the upcoming star in our league. I honestly believe I saw a touchdown yesterday. He last night. I'm sorry. He caught a touchdown over 2 defenders for I mean, this was the kind of play you'd see in a D3 game. Like it was, and on top of that, he had 2 interceptions, one of which was a pick 6. I think that he is an upcoming star. I mean, I'm sure his cap number is very low as well.
He's probably just coming to the league,
right? Yeah, no, and I think that's the kind of weapon that they need to use on a consistent basis if they want to, reach the next level in this league.
So now as you've seen them play, do you agree on my initial assessment of Jordan McInnes?
I do. I think that he brings 3 things to this game. And 3 things that can make him a dominant quarterback in D6. I think he has a decent arm. It's not a big thing, but I think that having a decent arm in D6 is pretty big. I think he has a top flight receiver. And I also think he has the athletic ability to escape not the pocket, but to escape the rusher and to gain yards.
So you're misunderstanding me. I didn't mean. Do you agree with my assessment that he's a good quarterback? But do you agree that he looks like Dave Lister from Red Dwarf?
Nice.
Previously airing on YTV at midnight.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Kaepernick. I don't know what it is. He's fast.
The playing style is not really similar at all.
No, but it's just that he's athletic. He has a good arm, and he has an exceptional you know what it is? He was able to read the field yesterday, and it's something that you don't see very much in D6. Yeah,
it's true. Smoking Axolotls, they're not producing on offense.
No,
what do they
not
need
at
to
all.
improve?
Consistency, I think consistency is a big thing. I think you need to work your way to big plays, instead of trying to hit deep plays all the time. I think you need to work. You know what it is? I think in D6 a lot of times there's a lot of teams that don't like to use their snappers, don't like to use the short routes, and I think that it's a good way to build confidence,
As a snapper, I always advocate to a snapper. You should give him 80 looks a season.
Yeah.
I agree entirely. We'll talk a little bit about offense later on in the show. Maybe there are things that we can help with and share some of our knowledge about that. We'll touch on that a little bit later in the show.
I still think Obamacare is the best name in the league.
Obamacare is a great name.
We need to have like a draft of the best names.
All right, there wouldn't be very long.
There's
only 22 teams. The Las Finest.
Yes.
They got your prediction was right. They beat the Pocket Watch 37-14.
The Pocket Watch or my Pocket Watch?
they're beating up on your pocket watch.
Am I surrounded right now? I'm surrounded by pocket
You're
watchers.
basically surrounded by pocket watches everywhere.
I can't say too many bad things.
We'll just rip out the pocket watch. So in this game here, the Las Finest get 2 pick sixes.
Right.
One from Rusher Andrew Grant, then another from Joey Muzuneki, which I'm hoping I'm pronouncing correctly. If I'm not, that's not your name.
I'm sure it's Muzunekis or something.
No, it's Muzuneki.
Huh.
There's no S at the end. You can pluralize him if you wish, but he was one person.
Awesome.
Yeah, so both times I stepped back. I was already a little bit frustrated in that game. Wasn't really paying attention to any of my mechanics or anything, and fired it right at the rusher. They tipped into the air, intercepted. Both very athletic plays.
Right.
They're a very athletic team.
I really think that they have a great team. I think that
they do, and they have a lot of guys. Billy Macris is another guy who surprised me. Watching him play.
How does Billy Macris surprise you? He's been playing for a while.
He's not the same guy.
No?
Good job preparing for the podcast.
But I thought
Jonathan Macris.
Jonathan Macris, not Billy Macris.
No, Billy Macris.
No, Billy Cerritos, Jonathan Macris.
Yeah, it's like a merger.
Yeah, it's a merge of the Greeks.
And so what happens is just in the way he was covering GM Calathris, who's actually in the studio with us.
He's not next to us. I refuse to acknowledge him.
Well, you acknowledged him when he was playing with his bag.
He interrupted me.
Yeah. And the way he was covering it in the technique he was using is a corner technique. It's not something you'll see even in higher divisions. He was peeking over the right shoulder and being able to rotate and turn his hips to follow the ball. Yeah, that's something that you don't see ever in Div 6.
No, you don't.
He's a guy who's played before, and he's a very good defender. They have a lot of talent on this team.
And in a way, in D6, like having that kind of technique, it's crazy what it could do for your team. You know?
The one thing I will say, and it's something that they have to watch out for. They play very physically. Yeah. And it's not me complaining because we lost. It's something where other refs will call things more frequently. And especially running into the quarterback, I'm a pretty big dude. I don't fall down very easily. But there are quarterbacks who will flop. There are quarterbacks who are more intelligent than I will and throw themselves on the ground the second you get close. So you got to watch out for that. And more importantly, it's about safety. Like, guys, we all work on Monday. You know what I mean? There's just playing hard and then there's playing reckless.
Yeah, but the game happens so fast, though. I don't think it's intentional.
That's fine. It's not necessarily intentional. It's reckless. There's a difference between playing hard and playing reckless. And there's at times where it's a new team. We saw this with Jean-Guy last season. Throwing their bodies around, getting reckless, getting into fights. Then there was a fight in this game, but I'm saying in a game where you have two teams with that demeanor, it can get out of hand that way. You know what I mean? And it's just something to watch out for. Just something.
I agree, but I still don't want teams to lay off on the physicality at all.
Well, it depends. So you're saying a guy should be able to drill a guy in the face?
No, I'm not saying that. But
then you should lay off on physicality.
Yeah, lay off a little bit, but I'm not saying I still think that
I'm okay with playing, I'm okay with playing physical. Right. I'm not okay with playing reckless. Is all.
He's huffing and puffing, this guy.
He always is. As for pocket watch,
what can you do?
What can we do? What can I do? No, but what can we do as a team? Do you think they'll take us out of the middle pack and become?
Well, you can stop throwing a rusher and throwing interceptions.
That's one way. That's one way.
No, but I mean,
but as a team, like I know I'm on the show with you here, but really as a team, there are other guys on the team other than the three guys in this room.
Okay, we need to do, and I figured this out yesterday. Before every game, dude, I started eating asparagus. It's incredible. All right. Like I feel like
Boys,
I have a whole level of energy.
Yeah,
you eat 5 sticks. I don't even know what to call it, sticks. 5 asparagus eye.
Okay.
All right. A little.
Grandma with Duke.
You wrap a little bit of bacon. All right. Boom, you're ready to go.
All right. So basically, what you're saying is you'll play better, but your urine will smell like smoke.
It's so bad.
Absolutely. NWO beats Changi 24-13. Mike the Dirty Sanchez looked poised and confident in this one.
If there was an award for the most improved player, I would give it to him. Not to say he was bad last season, but I feel like he's
because it's kind of what you're saying. It's kind of what that means.
No, but I feel like there's a whole lot of improvement in his game, and it's not specifically, there's nothing specific, but I feel like his reads are a lot better. The play calling is a little bit off. You know, like they did try to go for and I just have to say this. When you're on your 1 yard line.
Your own 1 yard line.
Your own 1 yard line. That's the right grammar. Don't run the ball. Don't run the ball. And if you do, run straight forward. Don't run at don't run at a diagonal. You know, like the guy, he snapped off the ball. it was almost a safety, which could have probably turned around the game. But like I just think when you're on your own 1 yard line, you can't take
a risk like that.
You can't take a risk like that. But I think on top of that, I think that when I'm saying that he's an improved player, I think that his throws are very accurate. He threw a very, very nice touchdown at the end of the game, which was pinpoint accuracy.
Right up the
and that's something that we didn't see. We saw a little bit of last season, but in coverage at the back of the red zone, it's a great throw
for sure. Jean-Guy, as they did last season, looked strong on defense but struggle to score points.
Yeah.
Do you think there's something that's going to continue? Will they be able to rely on their defense, or like what will they have to change to be able to be a more effective team?
I don't think they have to change much. I don't think this is a win or break kind of game. I think that it's a lesson learned more than anything else. A lot of very risky plays. There's a lot of throws that were unnecessary.
Well, do you feel like they
were chucking it deep a lot?
But it almost seems like It almost seems like they don't have a playbook. Shartron runs around and chucks it.
Right. Yeah, that's what it felt
like. It's like NFL blitz. Like,
yeah, but I felt like it was that. But it's also because sometimes we don't give enough credit to a defense in FBF. And I think that NWO's defense was out. They were out there, and
it's fine. But this is not my commentary on this.
Right.
This is my commentary over the past 2 seasons.
Over the past 2 seasons, yeah. I don't think that it's the. I think it's the kind of situation where you need to. You need to be more careful with the ball, because having possession of a football in FPF is gold, especially in Division 6. When you have the ball, you have to run down the field, take some time, and then throw a touch. Try to throw the right kind of passes instead of just chucking it deep every play. And that's what I felt it was yesterday for them.
Agreed. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, Deez and I will get offensive. We are back from break, and Deez just told me something that I didn't listen to. Most of the time that you're talking. You are Deez Della, Reeze. I am Peeze Della, Reeze. They can follow you at
Dave Republic.
Dave's Republic.
And I am. You can follow me at Peeze FPF. And the guy who remembers everyone's Twitter handles, of course, is our producer at Eagle FPF. So we touched on a lot of defensive concepts last week. I want to touch on...
No, we didn't really touch on a lot of them. We only touched on one and barely.
Because I have a particular sort of analyst on my show. But the thing is that I want to talk about offense this week because defense is stupid in the first place.
Right. I agree. I agree completely.
Wow, that's a change of heart.
No. I mean, I actually think defense is stupid.
Nice. Got it. It says...
Oh, I love it. I just still think it's stupid. I played D3 last night, and they just score and score and score. Yeah, I kind of lost hope at one point, but we still won.
Anyway, we'll tune in for Calling the Audible and hear about it on the Div 3 podcast. But for Div 6, what kind of offense have you seen so far? What kind of trends are you seeing in Division 6? What do you see out there?
I am seeing...
I asked the same question 3 times, by the way. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused now. What's your question?
Answer one of them. What'd you see?
what did I see?
In terms of offense.
Well, I'm going to go back to what I said before. I think that working the field works. I think a lot of times in D6, there's a lot of teams that play really off. Mm-hmm. Defenses tend to play off the offense, meaning that they'll play like 7 to 10 yards off their opposition. They'll line up where the rusher is. That has its advantages, but it has a lot of disadvantages if you don't have an aggressive defense. So I feel like if you're playing against a defense that's lining up very far, they're not reactionary. You can really chew up a lot of yards just by having hooks, throwing it back to the snapper. Like small, quick plays can really do a lot of damage to a defense that just doesn't react, in a timely fashion.
Sounds good. Have you seen a lot of gimmick offenses? I know NWO was sort of famous now for running the Wildcat and sort of like a read option offense. Have you seen any more of that? Or is it really just NWO that's?
No, I've seen a little bit of it, and I think that a gimmick offense it can work. And when I reported the previous season, I think that it can possibly work if it's executed properly. But the problem with gimmick offense is if you're not executing properly, you're just wasting time.
Absolutely. What should quarterbacks be looking for when they're reading a defense? You're a guy who calls defense, so like the weaknesses in your defenses. So what should a quarterback be looking for? What should he be reading?
Just read the safety. You have to read the safety at all times. Like if your safety is pinching in, there's a hole there. Like your safeties essentially are really the fabric of your defense. Mm-hmm. If you're playing against a safety that's a group of safeties that aren't reading the field properly, they're focusing mostly on a specific receiver. You can throw down a seam pass, which is a long. Will you explain the seam pass to me?
A seam pass is essentially a fade or
like a fade, right? And essentially that can really ruin a team, like if it's not covered properly,
Absolutely, and I think a lot of it there's a lot of things you can do in terms of having a pre-snap read, trying to figure out what the defense is going to do before you get the ball in your hand. Look at where you have mismatches. Right. Look at who you think is going to drop. Try and key in on the guy in the middle, because if it's your standard cover 3 or cover 2. You'll know what kind of defense it is based on whether or not the middle guy will drop. Then you'll have, like if it's 4-1, a lot of times you'll see that the safety is already playing deep.
But here's my question, though. You're as a quarterback, right? Like when you're reading a defense, right? Are you reading mainly the center defender, the middle linebacker, or whatever we call it in this league? Like, are you reading him first, or are you reading the cornerback? Like, what is your first read when you're looking at a defense?
My first read is to pan the field left to right to see, again, if I have a mismatch and if I can diagnose the defense before I get the ball in my hand. Once I have the ball in my hand, I'm looking at the middle of the field to see who's dropping, to see which zones will be vacated by players dropping or staying short.
And then you throw a pick to the rusher.
And then I throw a pick to the rusher because I'm not very good. But the thing is that that's the thing that you'll look at is now that you've called your play, and now you know where the defense is going to be. You have a couple of seconds before the rusher gets.
But I think also with D6, like there's something I noticed. Defenses are so reactionary. Like it's so easy to read them. You throw short, then they switch to a short defense, like in cover 2. You throw deep, they switch to a deep defense. Yeah. Like that's the kind of trap that a lot of new teams get stuck into. It's like, oh, they threw short. Let's cover whatever short. And then you can attack.
And play off that. No, just realize what they're doing, and then find a way to take advantage of that. Speaking of taking advantage, it's time for Science Hour with Duke.
Oh God!
I'm going to throw you a scientific concept.
Should we re-explain the segment in case people just haven't?
That's actually what I'm doing right now.
Awesome! I just interrupted you.
I'm going to throw a scientific concept to you. You're going to explain it to the worst of your capabilities.
Amazing.
I'm not going to define what it is. Your definition will become the actual definition for what the term is.
But like last week, can I get 2 chances at this?
No, well you can. It won't really matter because you'll always be wrong. You'll just be wrong twice.
I hate science.
So, Science Hour with Duke. Also, by the way, the reason why it's Science Hour with Duke is my family and all of his friends all call him Duke for reasons unbeknownst to anyone else.
But also because it's usually an hour that I go on about.
Yes. So there's 2 reasons.
Yeah, terrible.
So, this is what it's going to be this week. The uncertainty principle.
The uncertainty principle?
Yeah.
And how do you spell this?
It doesn't matter. The uncertainty principle.
But I thought you said uncertainty principle.
Uncertainty. Uncertainty is not a word.
Okay, maybe we should have another sense hour about that. Uncertainty principle. I would say that the uncertainty principle relates to when you can't find your cell phone in the morning and you're going crazy and you can't find it anywhere. So you look in your closet first. It's not in your closet. You check around the toilet bowl because you probably got drunk last night and you probably may have left it around the garbage can. It's not there either. So where do you go check next? Around the computer. It's not there either. So you freak out. You're like, oh, I probably dropped it between my car seat. It's not there either. So then you start wondering, maybe I should call the cops or not, right? So you call the cops. You don't call the cops. Don't ever call the cops.
With no phone.
Yeah, right. So that is the uncertainty principle. The matter of not being able to call the cops about your stolen phone because you do not have a phone.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And being that you're so right about that, let's predict the games that are coming up this week. We have a full slate of games as we always do. We'll start it off with the top because that's how my eyes work.
Nice.
Beast Mode versus the Sun Bros.
I'm gonna go Beast Mode.
I'm gonna go Sun Bros.
I'm gonna go Beast Mode just because of the name.
I know, that's what you keep doing.
Didn't we choose this game last week? Is
Nope.
this up to date?
Yes.
Eagle,
this is week
Eagle,
3.
get the games up on the screen.
I got the
This
games
guy's
here.
useless. What are we paying
I
for?
don't know. Orange Crush versus Diablos.
You're gonna hate me. I'm gonna go with Diablos. I told him I went against them 2 weeks in a row now, but I'm gonna go Diablos.
I'm gonna
But I
go
remember-
with.
yeah.
I'm gonna actually go with Orange Crush in this one. I think the
They
quarterback
got-
change will make it.
Oh no, it's true. They have. I mean, I'm the one that said it before, but they are going through a quarterback change. So I'm not going to change my pick because that is a bad thing to do. So I'm going to go with Diablos.
Okay, let's go. LA's finest flagrant fouls in a matchup between 2 undefeated teams. Who do you think takes it?
LA's finest. Last
Because
finesse. Because they are from LA.
All right, and I will go with LA's finest as well. Balls deep versus part of my swag.
Part of my swag, bruh.
I think part of my swag will take it as well. Team 4th and 20 versus Tigers
Is Tiger spelled with a Z or an S?
with a Z because it's Canada.
Unacceptable.
Okay.
I will not choose them.
Would you like to choose?
Who are you playing against?
So you go with Team 4th and 20?
Team 4th and 20.
I will go with Team 4th and 20 as well. I'm not liking all the agreeing. NWO versus Smoking Axles.
We're gonna agree on this one as well.
Maybe. Go for it.
NWO.
Because of?
Because this time they won't try and run the ball at their 1 yard line.
I think I'm going to go with Smoking Axles just because I think NWO is bound to choke a game away, and I think this is a perfect trap
It's
type
such
game.
a different season. They don't even have the same roster.
I know.
They kind of have the same roster. Who's that dude
Okay.
for 20 on their team?
That's something we could get to in another podcast when we have more time. Wolfpack versus the Pocket Watch.
Well, I'm never going to choose against you or you or you.
What do you mean against?
Because y'all suck.
You're saying opposite things right now. Go ahead. Who'd you pick?
I'm not choosing Pocket Watch
Okay. Because of?
because of you.
Alright, that's what that would be my rationale as well.
I'm always going to go with Terry Town. He's a sexy beast.
Fair enough. Goon Squad versus the Mean Machine.
Mean Machine.
Because?
Because they are short and quick, you can't catch him.
Okay, does Obamacare cover the minge?
Ooh, this is a good one. But I always choose against the Minge.
Okay?
So I'm going to go Obama Curve.
Okay, fair enough. Wax on, wax off versus Mountain Goats.
Okay, first of all, no idea why they call it team Mountain Goats. Terrible name, but I'm gonna go
I'm
wax
sure
on.
there's a mathematical
Wax
reason
off,
behind it.
wax on.
Wax off, wax on. Alright, perfect. TMNB versus Jean-Guy.
What does TMNB stand for?
The mutant.
Teenage Mutant Breast
Ninja Ballers.
Teenage Mutant Breast Turtles.
Okay, that's not the acronym, but it's okay.
Against who?
Against Jean-Guy.
Oh, Jean-Guy. I'm gonna go Jean-Guy this game.
I'm gonna go with Jean-Guy as well.
Ah!
So, I wanted to touch on something real quick. It is Thursday's lesson plan. For those who haven't realized yet, week 3, we're starting the games of the week. It starts with Division 6. So go out there, vote for whichever game you'd like to be spotlighted in your division. Go on our, is it on the Facebook page or on the Facebook group?
Facebook page.
It's on our Facebook page. If you're not on our Facebook page, it'd be a great time to join so you can vote for your game of the week. I am Peeze, Della, Reeze. On behalf of these Della, Reeze,
Yes, sir.
GM McDonald's, collect your ass,
Stop eating McDonald's. Bad for you.
and the Eagle at Master Control. I'm wishing you all good mental health.
Is that how you end it?
Yeah, it's a 90s reference. Look it up.
So weird.
Yeah.